when it comes to strength, you can have two guys with the same height, with the same weight, with even the same body fat percentage, so the same amount of muscle mass, and one guy can be much stronger than the other guy, and I mean much, that's why I said a lot of much. Because strength is something neurologic. It's about how well can your brain activate and use the muscles that you have right now. And this is a very cool trait. I have, let's say, not just more respect, I appreciate it. No, appreciate is also not the right word. I find it more amazing if a guy is incredibly strong than if the guy is just good looking and muscular but not that strong. Maybe it's the same with you. And today I have for you 5 hacks, and not just the basic information about using heavy weights and just doing low reps. No, I will give you different stuff. 5 hacks that you can incorporate into your training and become incredibly strong in any exercise, pull-ups, bench, any exercise that you want. And let's start with number 1. Number 1 is just always, when you do an exercise, contract as explosive as you can. Contract as explosive as you can. Why? Let's say you have your biceps and you have 1,000 fibers in your biceps, let's say. If you want to become stronger with the same amount of muscle mass that you have right now, you must be able to activate with your brain almost all 1,000 fibers at once. And that you train by always trying to contract as explosive as possible. You have 2 options when you want to become stronger. You either lift light weights as explosive as you can and really explosive, like I show you here in a deadlift, or you have heavy weights also in a deadlift and try to contract as explosive as possible. Of course, the weight will not fly up to the air because the weight is too heavy. But the third option that you want to avoid, and that bodybuilders often use, or just other weightlifters in general, is you use less weight than you can actually handle and consciously you go up slow just for the pump, just for the burn. But this is not the way that you can train your brain to use almost all 1,000 fibers. No, you don't want to do that. This way, if you train like that, it's like your brain activates first 250 fibers, then they get exhausted, then the brain activates the next 250 fibers and the next ones and the next ones. But you cannot use all at the same time, which is bad, which we don't want. So explode always. Try to explode, even when it doesn't work because of the heavy weights. This is number 1. Let's go to number 2. The second rule is always train and finish with a perfect technique. The reason why gymnasts and Olympic weightlifters are so strong is because of the perfect technique, because of the explosiveness also, which was point number 1. So, if your first rep in a bench press, for example, look here, looks like that, so pretty clean, but your last rep, the last rep that you do in your bench press training looks like this, pretty bad. You just try to lift it, and let's be honest, a lot of people train that way. If you go to failure, then the bad thing is your nervous system will save this bad technique. It's like before going to bed, if you learn vocabulary, you save it while you are sleeping, and here your last rep unfortunately destroys your training. What you want is always finish also with a good technique, and even when you had a bad technique in the last rep, what you can do is just put all the weights off, and I love doing that, and for the finish, just do a few of wonderful clean reps, the most clean reps that you can do with just the barbell, and this is amazing. This way you will save this technique and be stronger next time. The reason why a lot of people have a plateau is because the technique gets bad at the end. So finish, especially also with a great technique, it's important. My number 3 is for you. Practice often the exercise that you want to be stronger at. I don't like it when people train, for example, 5 times a week, but they train a muscle group just once a week. So when it comes to strength, this is not very good. You can develop muscle mass with that, but when it comes to strength, it's difficult. And I have a question for you. This might sound extreme, but I tell it a lot of people that want to become stronger. It's like, come on, if they kidnap your family, okay? Your family is gone, and they call you and they tell you, hey, if in 1 month you will not squat 40 kilograms or 80 pounds, 90 pounds more, then we will kill your family, which sounds of course very extreme. But if you have to become 40 kilograms, 90 pounds stronger in a squat in 1 month, would you train the squat once a week or twice a week? Let's be honest to yourself. I know that you would say, no, of course I would then squat like every day, at least a little bit. This is what it's about. But the thing is, you cannot just train a lot, and every day. Then you must take something to be able to do that. We want to stay natural. But there's a balance between frequency and volume. If you train a lot, you cannot train often. But if you train just 1, 2, 3 sets, then you can train as often as you want. You can do every day a set of push-ups, for example, and you won't overtrain, of course, or a set of pull-ups or a set of deadlifts, but not 10 sets every day. That would be extreme. But it's better to have a high frequency and a lower volume when it comes to strength, because repeating it really strengthens this neurologic system in your mind, and you will get more explosive, more stronger, fast. Number 4 is you need long rest periods between your sets. How can I prove that to you? Okay, first let me tell you, in my opinion, 4-5 minutes, at least 3 minutes are necessary to have a good strength training. Why? Look, if you do, for example, 1 set of clean pull-ups or 1 set of clean push-ups, as many reps as you can, and then you just rest for 1 minute or 2 minutes, I promise you, you will see it if you do it, you will not be able to get to the same number of reps. It's not possible. The body must resynthesize ATP, the energy that is needed, and this happens in a few minutes. Usain Bolt, when he's doing sprints, is even resting for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Strength training is a training that takes longer than, for example, bodybuilding or losing, if you want to lose weight and fat. Yeah, that training also doesn't take that long. But when it comes to strength, you need longer rest periods, 3 to 5 minutes. If you really want to become stronger, then you will have the ATP again and be able to hit the next set with 100%. And the last point, number 5, is incredibly important in my opinion. It is train autoregulative, which means you cannot go up like this with your strength. You will always have weekdays, and on weekdays, don't try to hit the same weight on weekdays. When you have weekdays, train for explosiveness. Use light weights and be explosive, like I showed you in the deadlift. It will be like this. Then you will go up, okay? So always, when you have a weekday, train also with light weights and explosive. But if you wait and you get the strong day where you feel like, damn, I just touched the barbell and I feel like Superman. On these days, of course, take the weights, put them on the barbell, and then you will max out much easier. So my recommendation is, with autoregulating, that you decide every day which weights you use. Don't write it down. If you feel weak, train also with light weights, really light weights, but explosive as fuck. I shouldn't have said that word. But on the other days, when you are very strong, when you feel very strong, then go up really with the weights and set new records and feel amazing. This is the best way to train, in my opinion, because we always have weekdays. Don't try to push yourself too much on the weekdays. Then on the strong days, you are not that strong. So go with the flow, and always wait for the perfect day where you feel just incredible, where you can put on so much weight. Yes. These were the 5 hacks. I hope you will use them in your training, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can of course subscribe to this channel, because every Monday and every Friday videos will be uploaded here from now on. Promise to you. Have a nice week and become stronger.